You're listening to the UK Christian Rap Podcast on
Kingdom Culture.
Welcome to the UKCR Podcast on Kingdom Culture, the home for UK Christian rap music. And we are joined by DJ Cassie and Calvin Venus. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi everyone.
We don't know what episode we're on. I do know what episode I'm on, but I forgot for this podcast, and I'm not going to look for it. So I'm just going to say welcome. I've been saying it for
30
so long.
something.
Yeah, 30 something. There we go. So we're going to hit up the first section, which is called Current Affairs, 10 minutes. And we're just going to talk about that and see what's good. But just before we get into that, I'd just like to tell everyone about the new Casey Mix Play we got on YouTube, where we've got hand-selected tracks, UK Christian rap tracks that we've got going up on YouTube. So go and listen, go and enjoy, share around. It's a good jam, you know. Casey Mix Play on YouTube. Have a listen and enjoy. So my first thing, because I read this today and I thought, I wonder what Cass and Calvin would do in a circumstance such as this.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's one of those ones.
Calvin.
You have to start there, ain't
You're a bachelor and you've met the lady of your dreams. And I'm sure you're married to her now. So we're just going to say, you're not married at the moment. Cass, you're not married at the moment. And you've met your husband-to-be. You're planning to get married in a month's time.
Oh, it's
What do you do? Because you can only have 15 guests at your wedding.
Oh, yeah.
What would you do in that situation? Would you delay it for 6-7 months, a year? Or you'd be like, no, this is happening right now. Tell me what you do.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, Calvin, go first.
Technically, I was in this situation when I got married because my wife is American. I moved over here. And it was only, I think, only 15 members of my family could come. So I prioritized on immediate family members. My uncles and aunts are like 6, and then they brought their siblings and spouse because it quickly added up to 15. And yeah, that's how I did it.
Why 15?
I mean, you said 15, right?
Yeah, but why did you have 15? This is a legit. I was hypothetical, and you're like, you've lived this. So
had to find flights. I mean, that's the differentiator. So, this is a different country. Not everybody has the money, and so you know, if everyone said, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm bringing my dog and my cat, and you know, my budget and all that," yeah, then we have problems. But because they're flying to Houston, and you know, so you know, you would find not everybody has the readies even in 6 months' time. So if it's a month's time, it'd be even easier, I think.
You said 2 months, right? Isn't it? So you said
1 month.
I had
1 month,
months.
yeah. So yeah, to 1 month, yeah.
No, but like, would you change plans? So Calvin, if you could have 100, would you change? Would you whittle it down to 15, or would you wait till you can have that 100 or 50 or however many you would have? That's more than 15.
And this is in a different country?
No, this is just no. So you haven't got the parameters of people not being able to fly over. Is not there. Everyone can fly over. Everyone can get tickets.
Oh, everyone can get tickets. Oh, see, I would.
So this moves it away from the personal. Yeah, I'll just make it immediate family only then, and I'll just stream it. I mean, it's even easier now in COVID-19. You know, people understand the social distancing and enabling, you know, the ability not to kind of meet up, and so you know. I think it's actually easy. If there's any time in history that you could do it,
you get married now.
Yeah, get away with it. Yeah.
It's cheaper.
Much cheaper.
And you got an excuse, a legitimate excuse.
Yeah. Cass, what about you?
Yeah, to be honest, I would have said I would have just thrown out the country anyway. This like that way, I don't have to bother. I'll go somewhere, look for somewhere expensive. So I know people ain't gonna come up with the money with 1 month's time because we would have already had the money put aside. But then if we're on the parameters where you said that people could fly, so in that respect, I would have.
But like on the flip reverse, like if you're the person who has to, so say for instance, one of your friends, very close, very good friends, getting married, and they got, you know, I'm getting married in the Bahamas. It's going to cost like $1,500 for the ticket for you and your wife. Okay, let's put children aside. How do you feel about that? Do you find that not offensive, but do you find that quite perturbing? Like, yo,
well,
that's 15. That's like 15.
I wouldn't, you know, because I have a friend who got married in abroad, And it's a case of as long as I've had enough notice, like, you know, if it's a case of I've had a year's notice, which they, you know, then that's fine. But if it's not, if it's like a couple of months, it's like, you know what, I've already planned my holiday in general, like my own family holiday, which, you know, and that's just gonna eat a chunk out of it. So unfortunately, I would have to decline. I would decline because of that. But I would love to go, but it's just that.
I think the people that normally get away with this are the really, really old people that get remarried.
Yeah.
And the really, really young people. You know, they haven't amassed much wealth. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think either end of the scale they can get away with it.
Yeah,
it's true, isn't it?
It's true. I mean, personally, I just
weddings are small too, so you know.
I mean, I would personally, like, if it was over here, if we couldn't go away, say so to speak, then yeah, again, we just to save money. I mean, I would just be like, you know, sorry, it would be immediate family. I mean, my, you know, immediate family that could come, like my would be my parents, and then I would add my siblings to it. Depends on how much of them could come, and then their children, and then I think I'll be full up already. There, it could literally only go as far as that. That would be it.
Me, I would definitely go for immediate because I can fend off extended family with many different things, such as, you know, I haven't known you for so long. It's many parameters, so I go straight for that. And thank goodness my immediate family, in terms of my brothers, it's sizable, but it's not crazy. It's loads of kids. But my extended family are huge. It's ridiculous. My granddad is 97, and he's not doing the greatest health wise. But I can imagine at moments he looks out and thinks,
oh gosh, I'd have to make room for my nan. Sorry, I'd have to make room for my nan. My nans.
I think personally that's what I would do. I would just be like, immediate family, cool. But there's two things that really gets me about weddings. One, when people get married abroad and expect you to pay it. Not just, oh, we're getting married abroad and it's going to cost $1,500. They expect you to pay it. Wow, you guys. I
got married in Orlando.
Joking. No, but you don't expect people to pay it. You just say, this is the price. If you can make it, you make it. But there are some people who expect you to pay that price, which is just crazy. And two, and then this sounds like a small thing, but please follow me, because I've been a groomsman and a page boy for many weddings. I don't know why they kept selecting me, but there was a period of time when I didn't pay for my suit. Then something flipped. I remember the first time one of my friends said, "Wow, I want you to be my trail." I'm like, "Yeah, man, cool, no problems." And it was like, "Yeah, the suit's gonna cost like $150." And I'm looking at him thinking, this doesn't make sense. You're meant to pay for the suit, and I'm meant to go into that suit and represent your trail. And I ended up forking at $150, and I thought, I don't feel like I don't like that. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I was like, you're meant to pay for I would pay for my boys. So I was like, yo, you man, I'll pay for it. But because of the current climate, when I got married, I was like, you man, pay for it.
You know, it's been like that lately. Like I know weddings like that lately. Honestly, the bridesmaid paid for their dresses.
But the bridesmaids different. No, come on, the bridesmaids are different though. The bridesmaid can go to like H&M and still look decent with a flower bouquet in her hand.
I ain't got H&M for my bridesmaid.
But you know what I'm saying.
I'm like, I ain't your bridesmaid.
But you know what I'm saying. You can kind of bypass it and whatnot. But the man them, we have to go to these Moss Bros £300.
Yeah, but that's the bride. What do you think the bride's dresses are? They're normally like custom made. Like,
I have to give it back.
Hair and makeup too, bro.
Yeah, you know what?
Man, me too. My haircut was very expensive.
How much? What? A whole £20?
No, no. My barber normally charges £80.
What?
It's crazy.
What kind? Hold on a second.
Yeah, he does footballers, so he's got that
£80 for a haircut.
But the trim was beautiful.
No, you're.
But I didn't pay for it because he happened to be my wife's cousin, so I got a solid on that. But
because I'm sure you can find a man. Where are you? East London, down the
no.
high road?
I've got a barber who comes to my house.
Yeah.
It's solid, and that's not man being snobby. That's for the fact that I can't stand in the cold for an hour with my son waiting for the barber to turn up. I said this has to stop. I've been doing that since the age of 14, 15. Standing out, waiting for the barber. I said, this must stop, man. So based upon that, I said, son, I've got to show you a different type of lifestyle. This is not okay. And I think like image and the way we present ourselves is a very important discussion that needs to be had. So my question to both of you, segueing off of that point, is the image and presentation of artists in CHH. It is important, we know it, but how is it important? How should we present ourselves? How should we image ourselves, our brand, you know? Because when we're talking about music artists, they are their brand. You know, it's not normally like a business which has a logo and terms and conditions, a website and so forth. You can never know who the owner is. It's different in terms of the artist because they portray themselves visually through music videos, artwork, and now heavily Instagram profiles and so forth. It's incredibly important how we portray ourselves. But the fine grey area is what we're trying to discuss here. We know what is right and we do know what is wrong. Again, that's now being argued. But we're talking about this grey area, which is not so certain, such as the way we dress or the things we say, how we present ourselves in the image. So my first question is, does Instagram, do you find, demand perfection? A kind of perfection that causes people to personify themselves in a certain way in order to gain a certain amount back. What do you think on that?
Well, Instagram, for what I know, is very pictorial. It's like, you know, pictures, images. So, I suppose, you know what? I just, all I can say is, right, is that I'm glad I wasn't brought up on social media, because I really do feel it for the young generation that this is what they've been brought up on, that they don't know anything different outside of that. And I just thought if social media was to collapse today, they wouldn't have a clue what to do. Just like how Wiley got taken off just like that, you know, it's like, what would they be able to do? You know, I just feel that some people don't see outside that, you know, this perception of social media. I just, you know, it's like, it's almost as if like, you know, when I would say how a certain look that people want, or I don't know, a certain like, how can I put it? I'm just trying to give an example. Say like a music video. I don't know, back in the days, the MTV music videos, or those ones that are very, you know, explicit, whatever. And there's a certain look that people want in every video. And I find that's kind of the same for social media as well. It's like there's a certain look people want to have, or certain, you know.
Yeah.
I'll probably elaborate more when you lot talk, but I just really feel sorry for those that are being brought up on social media that don't know any alternative outside of that.
You're a Joey Fantes fan, right?
Yeah.
So did you catch what he did recently in the promotion of his latest project? Have you heard of an app called snap, what's the name of the app? I knew this was gonna happen. I was trying to look. Well, I guess the name is kind of irrelevant at the moment, but what you can do is it's a I guess a peer service where you find a celebrity and you can pay them
Cameo.
to tell them
Cameo.
That's
yeah. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of them that do Cameo.
Yeah,
Not
so
just him.
Vante's, but you know who he used to promote his album?
Who did
He used the game.
Did he?
Yeah, he paid $300 to get the game to say, hey, you need to check out my homie's album, Vantes, blah, 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 this coming out on this date. And so everybody almost went, whoa. So the game is endorsing, you know, Joey's album, right? But what kind of image does that leave Joey's audience? Even if on the outside, you see what I mean? Like, oh, it must be good because the game is, you know, you see what I mean? It's almost, I wouldn't even say it's like clout hopping, because clout hopping is like, it is a low sense of kind of getting validation, right? That's personal. But to get, you know, streaming numbers, you're using someone like the game, and you know who the game represents, and you know who Joey represents, and to kind of sort of bring that together and try to drum up numbers.
Well, Calvin, on a side point there, because
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is great, and I want to carry on that. But on a side point, is that dishonest? Would you call that dishonesty?
So that's that's where I'm going at. Because like with social media, like we were just talking about The Social Dilemma. It's a Netflix show. Everyone should, anyone can hear my voice right now. Go check it out. Make it your priority, because you need to find out how to change the services on your cell phone so you don't get marketed to. Big data is a big thing that you're going to use it against you politically, and not just for advertising. It's going to be even like machine learning is tagged to it. And so at some stage, if not already, they are telling you what to buy. It's a form of mind control, right? They're going to anticipate what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it. All right. And just, they want your attention all the time. They're competing for your attention and getting very, very clever at doing it. And so, yeah, it is a form of manipulation. I mean, let's face it, if you pay for social media numbers, right? And so suddenly you got like, I don't know, you see somebody who had like 20 likes, and then suddenly they got 1,000 likes for certain posts. And then it's back to 20. You're thinking, oh, you paid for that. All right.
Yeah.
That's deceit. Like if a Christian did that, you can't then start posting claims about, the Lord is my provider and all these kind of things. You can't. It's hard for you to profess.
Would you say that for those that go and like, one thing's my pet peeve, I'm not gonna lie, is when people follow people. I know there's a lot of people that do that, and then they unfollow them.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so annoying. Like, why do you have to? Why are you trying to get your numbers up like that?
The algorithm's changed. So if you do that, you actually don't rank high. You don't find, people don't find you as often.
Oh.
So
they go follow, they follow, and they do that just to get their numbers up. I just think that's the
those are done. That's what you used to do in MySpace, to go and get people to follow you and get. But now, algorithms are a lot more sophisticated. You can't manipulate that by following and unfollowing. But
what do you say that? But what do you say that's the same thing that a business does with advertising?
Well, here's the thing, all right. So with advertising, you're saying, hey, here's my product, all right. Yes, there's some emotional attachment to it, because they create stories that go, oh yeah, I need that product, right? And so they weave a story and they target market, right? But if you're saying that Jesus Christ is my Lord and I'm here for the gospel, and then you're using these tactics that portray that you are a popular preacher or a popular rapper or a popular something that you're not, then
false advertising.
It's more than just false advertising. That's revealing how low you are, like how far you would go to attribute success.
But Calvin, why are people doing it?
Oh, it's so simple, bro. I mean, listen, this is the reason why I feel that social media is technically a drug. Using the quote from that show, the only industry that uses the word users is the media industry, where you have apps and online activity, and the drug industry. All right, and they're both addictive elements, that's in society that's affecting us. There are strong reports showing the use of social media over time, and the use and depression and suicidal rates. There are lines that coincide. It's unrefutable.
But
right?
but I can find out, why people who aren't saved, because they haven't got the light shining in them, they haven't got the Holy Spirit working in them and causing them to go in the right direction. But those who have the Holy Spirit, those who have a body of believers, a local church, and all of those, the artillery that Christians do have, still find themselves trapped in this kind of drive and drug of social media. What's the difference? I mean, these guys we should be fighting against that, shouldn't we, in terms of as Christians?
So here's the thing, all right? And this is my honest feeling, and this is after watching The Social Dilemma and what I was experiencing over the summer. I, for one, I decided to use social media less. Yes, I could post, but I found that as I'm posting, I'm looking, and then minutes are going by, and I was looking at I use an iPhone. I was using my the app that kind of tells you the activity, and I was using social media nearly 6 hours a day, and I'm like, 6 hours a day? I can't complain about not handing in, you know, I do music. So if I miss a deadline, what excuses do I have? You know what I mean? Like, what excuses am I making? You know, if you find in your world that way that you're, you know, your countenance is falling, that you're struggling, you're stumbling into lust or any other sin, I think you can find a close relationship with your sin and social media, or at least your activity on your phone, you know.
But then as an artist, how do you navigate that?
So here's the thing,
because that's where we're supposed to be, isn't it? On Instagram. Instagram is the feed for it.
And this is where I'm getting at, because we're supposed to be salt and light in this world, all right? Just like in Jesus Christ's day and the apostles, that they found themselves when Jesus Christ went away, right? And then they waited, and then they had tongues of fire. They had the Holy Spirit that he promised them. He told them to go out right there and then, all right? What happened in that time is the Romans road. Literally, Roman occupation has allowed all these roads and all these avenues and all these cities and all these, you know, these currencies and you know, markets. They basically boosted world market trade, all right? And so using those routes that the Romans had built, the gospel had propagated. Now, we're in a similar situation right now with the internet. It is the Romans road. I have access. I'm literally 2 degrees from everybody around the world, basically. All right. And so what we need to be is salt and light on the internet. There was times, and I don't want to call out the rapper, but a prominent Reach Records are going to go that far. I'm not going to narrow it down. Artist was going through a period where they were posting a lot of their garments and shoes. And yeah. And I was like, man, they're dope. But I'm like, they're $300. Like, how can we talk about like contentment when we know these kids are addicted to social media, and you're putting these wonderful shoes online? You know what I mean? Like, what message are you're putting there? Are you saying that?
I'm sure they apologize for that as well, though.
I could tell you about a Jesus Christ that you could be like me. You know what I mean? We're talking about follows and likes. You know what I mean? Like, how closely is into our social construct.
Well, even if you think about, when it speaks in Isaiah about Jesus, said he had nothing becoming. He was an unattractive man, and he had no kind of draw towards his physical appearance. If Jesus Christ had an Instagram, he wouldn't have many followers. You know, I think the way he. Okay, in terms of
it would be controversial, though, according to people, wouldn't it?
I'm speaking more in terms of visually, not in terms of like what he will post in terms of like spiritual things or the way of living life or better living. I'm just talking about visually. When we think about the Kim Kardashian, I follow a lot of people on Instagram via Kingdom Culture's account, and I see like the Lecrae's, the KBs, the Bizzles and whatnot, and I can say that within a space of like about a week, if there's no release of music, it's just image. You know, I'm sat next to a lamppost. I'm, you know, in the studio thinking deep. You know, you know what I'm talking about. It's just like images of them, and they all look very good in terms of garments are looking fresh and so.
But there's a reason for that, because I think I mean, I haven't got a blue tick, right? So I'm aware, as far as I'm aware, that people that have certain accesses, they have to post a certain amount of time, and otherwise they could potentially lose their.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fear of missing. But think about it. The fear of missing out. FOMO is the term, right? The fear of missing out has had us all like needing our phones and needing to stay relevant and turning alerts. I mean, I find it. I laugh every time I hear it. You know, there's people that I watch on YouTube for information, and they say, "Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, blah blah blah." I'm like, but all you do is YouTube. So why am I following you when I can see you on YouTube? You know what I mean? We're in this situation where we think that we have to follow, tag, add, be here and be here and be here to stay relevant with each other. You know what I mean? Like, you see how crazy that is? It's because we live in an age here where the numbers, these validations of seeing growth, we tie success to that.
Yes.
And yes. that there is the drug, and that there is what you said that Jesus Christ. I think Jesus Christ would be online, but he will be a DMer. He will be having personal relationships with people. He probably won't have that many pictures. He may be tagged to a lot, but he will be a DMer. Yeah, he will be on social media. He will be using this Romans road for his greater good. And so as Christians, I think what we need to do is be creative, because he's creative. You know, he was creation. He was there at the start of the world where things were spoken in existence. That's creative. Like that shows you intelligent design, right?
So
we need to be the same way with social media. And the way we do that is understanding what social media is, all right? Understanding what it's become, understand the people behind it, like watching The Social Dilemma. I'll plug that show, man. They're getting free advertising from me. But we gotta educate ourselves to understand what the Romans road is looking like right now. If we're passionate about the gospel, we've got to be passionate about understanding the pitfalls of the avenues and the roads that we have to walk on.
So I just wanted to say something. So, for example, if a family member, your close friend or whatever, your friends, because like Facebook was actually originally set up, for supposed to be to connect with friends and family, not really to advertise your business. I mean, like your actual personal profile, your personal Facebook account is not to advertise your actual business. Yeah. It's to connect with friends and family. So if, say, friends and family are sharing with you their new house, because obviously they might live wherever they live, or their new car, or whatever, would you have an issue with that?
No, go back a step. I wouldn't really have an issue with that. But like, I don't really see how, like, if one of my friends like, look at my new car I've got, I would say this makes sense in this environment. Where I start to bring debate and conversation is with a photo sharing website. It's like Flickr, like Imager. There's many of them out there. It's exactly the same, but it's add a social element to it. And when people are posting via Instagram and so forth, these guys, there's not much narrative you can put around that post other than a few words in the comment. And the fact that I can follow you based upon the fact of clicking a button, and not that I have mutual friends or many other parameters that Facebook does have, I question that just a bit more, the intention or the feeling behind it.
So, you can limit on Instagram though who you want to follow you though. I mean, like you can.
But Cass, if I went to your profile, all I see is pictures. There's nothing else. On Facebook, I'm seeing where the school you went to. There's so much more information.
I know what you mean.
It's purpose built. It's purpose built.
But I'll say this, look, remember, like, Facebook was literally a school directory. That's literally how it started off. And they literally started posting pictures of every person in the school. That literally started the first drug.
By the way, everyone, my Facebook profile, not everyone can get onto that. My actual government name one. That one is request only.
Okay. But I'll say this though, right? It started from day one when it's first, the problem started from when it was first conceived. Because when you heard that there was a directory made and they took off all the pictures that were on your file and put it online, the first thing you did is like, well, I need to go see my picture. And then you're like, oh, let me go see that person's picture. Oh, let me go, I like that girl. I like this. And it played into our lust. It played into our fear of missing out. It played into all the sins that we are struggling with in the world online. It literally started from. So you said Facebook was all about the family. It was never about the family before. It was actually about schools, about colleges. It was supposed to.
I suppose, to bolster, because he was, And
then so what happened is you looking for girls in other colleges. That's literally how it started. It played into our lust. It played into our desires. So I don't, we had a new car and we consciously didn't want to put pictures of our new car. We just didn't want people to keep up with the Joneses. And it's just periodically, I'll just do pictures of my family. Here's a snapshot of where we are right now.
I know what you mean, Calvin, because I'm very similar. Like, some people don't know I have children. And then, and I remember I did one filming set, and someone came down and was like, oh, how you doing, man? It's like, I just literally saw on Facebook the other day you posted up like your son was, I think he was like 8 or something like that. It's like, I didn't know you had an 8-year-old. And I said, yeah, and I got a 5-year-old too. And, and it's like, you don't realize that because it's not put in.
That's why on certain platforms like Facebook, you limit who you like if you want.
No, this person, but this person, I would call a friend.
Oh, you would.
Like,
okay.
Like not like a close friend, but I'd say a professional friend. So, but it shows you that so much. Like, if you do not show your life on Facebook, people feel like they have the default right to assume on your basis, you know. And many times with kingdom culture, the same thing. It's like they don't see a post go up, they're thinking we're doing nothing, but actually we're doing the most in terms of, as Calvin, you know, about building microphones and so forth. Me, sometimes I'm let's spend a whole day building things such as like rigging and camera connectors and all of these stuff alongside graphic design and all of the other things that come with it. There's more to it than just what it looks like to people. And this is what we're discussing today, isn't it? The image, how we present ourselves, how we look, and what we buy into and what we allow people to see. Like, I'm with you, Calvin. I don't show people that much of my life because you don't need to see, you don't need to know, and I'm not of that generation, you know. I believe there's something godly in privacy, you know. And
go on, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, alongside that privacy note, there's another drug that me and you, Calvin, may not be pulled in by because there's no demand in it for us to do so. But another drug is for females. Females feel like they need to present certain parts of their body in order to be liked and so forth. So I went onto a lady's profile and I scrolled down. I think she's just a model. And me and my wife done a test. It was like, okay, she's a Christian woman. And all of the ones where she's showing a bit more flesh, maybe some cleavage, side breast, or tight tops and whatnot, we clicked on those and we counted the amount of comments and we counted the amount of likes. Then we went to one where she's so much more modest and well presented, even some where she's got quotes from the Bible and things like that, and those were extremely low. Now, of course, we know how algorithm works and so forth. However, Cass, do you feel the pressure as a woman? Obviously, you have your standards, but I'm just trying to say, like, out of the box. Do you feel the pressure as a woman, as a female, to be attractive and to get those likes? Because you know you could do it just like that. Because you have everything that Instagram says that you need in order to be successful. You don't have to look for anything. Maybe there's that gym-esque, like go to the gym and tone up and whatnot. But you have what Instagram regards as popular. Do you ever feel the pressures, or do you know of people who feel the pressures to present themselves in a immodest way?
I understand the pressures. Sometimes I do think to myself, should I post more? Should I do this? Should I post more myself? But again, I've never been that type of person. I know females that do always want to post and want to always look a certain way, and the post has got to be a certain way, it's got to be certain lighting, it's got to be done here, it's got to be done there, you know, and you know that pressure to keep up the people following them, and also to keep the likes. And then it becomes, for some of them, maybe it is just for when I have asked before, it's more for, like, you know, it's sometimes you might find their personal life, maybe they're not getting as much affirmation as they would like, whereas you go on social media, they're getting a lot of that, getting a lot of attention, so they continue that. There are some females that do it and the attention really doesn't faze them, you know. It's just something they do. They, you know, it's not something that they do it, but the attention maybe doesn't get to them as much. But there are some that fall into that category where they, you know, they have other issues, personal issues themselves, so social media for them is what helps them to feel like something, you know, to feel like someone, to feel wanted, to feel needed, someone to tell them that they're beautiful, you know, whereas they may not be getting that at home.
So what would you say to a female Christian hip hop artist, you know, who's got a new single coming out and she wants to go, right, I'm going to drop this top down and I'm going to show cleavage, I'm going to show breasts, I'm going to show parts of my body that I don't think one should show? What would you say to someone like that? Because the pressures is there. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, man, there's even ones below those ranks, such as, you know, some in the UK. I mean, they're popping up all over the place, like 5 a week at least, new artists. Because no disrespect to like a lot of female artists out there, but it seems like CeeLo Green said it. He apologized for it, but he made a good point. Where he says, like, the standard of female rappers seems to be lower than for male rappers. It seems like all they need to do is be vulgar and just, you know, expletive and show off their bodies, and that's okay.
CeeLo should have said, "Prove me wrong." He shouldn't apologize for that, because we all know it's a fact.
Yeah. But you see that but because of how easy it is now to, let's say, rap, yeah, more women now going, oh, all I got to do is do that, and then might show my breast off or show this or gyrate in a certain way. Now we've got female Christian artists, rappers especially, who they're more starting to pop up and here and there. The pressure is there. The pressure to perform or present yourself in that way, to match that image, to get those likes, to get the streams, to get the downloads, it's right in front of you and it's there. Cass.
Well, I'm okay. Do you know what? What my answer might be, this might be a bit, I don't know. But anyway, for me, to be honest, I would tell that person is, number one, look at who is your target? Who are you making music for? So based on that, what type of audience are you trying to present yourself to?
But Cass, Calvin said it's a drug. He said it's a drug. He said it's a pull, it's a draw, and I believe he's right in that.
See, I'm going to be honest. I'm not one to tell people what they can and cannot wear. I'm being honest, and that's one thing that I've always said I won't ever do. I have my preferences for my daughter. They're not my, but at the end of the day, as my daughter gets older, she's got to make up her mind what she does and doesn't wear, and then she's got to learn from her own mistakes or her own design choices or clothes choices. She's got to learn from that herself, what suits her, what she feels comfortable in. But again, there are female artists, Christians as well, that may dress that do dress, I've seen, in a certain way. What most, I would say, other Christian or even religious people might say is a bit too revealing. But like I said, for me, you know what? I'm not someone to tell people what to wear, but I just have to tell people, for me, it's like, you got to understand the type of people that you're marketing your music to, or the music's for, and what type of message are you trying to give out. If you was in their shoes, what would you like to see? Because for that person, looking at them dressing like that, for them, they might not see a problem with it, because to them it's like, well, this is me and this is who I am. And, I don't see a problem what I wear, because as females, like, some of us, we're tired of people telling us what we can and can't wear.
Why?
Because for me, it's like, sometimes it's a case of, well, if you've got an issue with it, that's your issue. It's not my issue. So that means, just because, okay, for example, I'm not saying, so if someone has an issue, say had an issue with me wearing a tank top, right, whatever, with no sleeves, and they have their own personal issue, even if it was a male or female, have an issue with me wearing it for whatever their own personal reason. To me, that's your problem. That's nothing for me to do. I mean, I'm not going to, you don't want me to wear a tank top because you've got issues with it. That's nothing to do with me. I mean, I understand that, but if I did that, then I'll be doing it, I'm not going to wear something because someone who I don't live with has an issue with it.
But let's go can we go a step further and say, like, what if you're showing off parts of your breasts?
Depends how far off the breast you're showing.
So a question is, because I've been talking to my wife about this for the past couple of months, like, is any part of the breast okay to show? Let me talk about the breast in terms of it's regarded as a private part. So is any part of the breast okay to show? Unfortunately,
there's some clothes for some women, because of their size, regardless of what tops they wear, some of their breast is going to show. And I'm serious. Like, there's generally, like, and those women could be as modest to the modest, but because of the size they are and the type of clothes that are not available to them, that's what's available to them. They end up having to wear something, and it may show a couple about 2-3 centimeters of a cleavage. And
but that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at the one. I'm that certain look that you're now seeing on Instagram, which has been perpetuated by the Kardashian culture. It's like this is not. Oh, I'm heavy chested, so this happens to be showing here. I'm talking about those who you can see purposely place their assets in a certain way. Men as well. I know this artist he's got an incredible six pack. He's a personal trainer. I'm like, brother, your body is solid, but is it right?
Yeah, but then that's the thing. Women don't really complain about that. That's the thing. So do you think there's an issue with that? Because not much women would complain about it.
I would say so.
you mind if I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I say something real quick? So,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem. We're not talking about men in particular telling women what they should wear. I don't think that is the issue at all. That's not even a debate. I think the problem is we're talking about exemplifying Christ, like in a way that we're representing him. Now, if there are women that, that will come up and I'm like, you're a Christian? And it's like we all judge by eyes. Like nobody can say that we're not judged by eyes. There are women that I've been in church, and then she walks in, and I'm like, my eyes, I'm like, why am I? You know what I mean? Like, why did you let her wear this kind of thing to the husband? You know what I mean? There are distractions, and the Bible talks about not distracting people. And look, we see sex used in the media every single day, and it's so infiltrated our minds and culture that we start to assume it's the norm. Like this skin tight, bottom revealing panty thing that was started off in the gym, but is now everyone wearing it every single day. And I'm like I'm tired of it already, because it's like, your back too big for that. You ain't got no back to show off. Why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Like, everyone's trying to draw attention to themselves.
You ain't got no back.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
I feel like I need to leave the building on that one.
Yeah, but I know I was trying to be very, very careful with it, trying to stay on message, because it is funny, but at the same time, it's sad. You know what I mean? Like, guys fall under the same trap. Like, I had a kid come up to me and go, "Oh, coach," because I coach football. Because you wearing Nike with Adidas and Puma.
They say that's a no-no.
Puma. They said it's a no-no. And I said, I mean, I care, man. Like, I'm out here. I'm going to do my thing. You know what I mean? Like, when I was looking for gear for the next year, I started thinking, maybe I need to get this, and this, because it matches. You know what I mean? Like, my psyche changed because of the fear of being...
my daughter doesn't like if I mix. She said you can't wear Nike and Adidas. She told me to tell me no.
Now, I use something that's very, very small. Now, check this out. What if we started ripping pages of the scripture so we can wear what we want? You know what I mean? Like, what if we start allowing for distractions inside the church just so that we feel comfortable? You know what I mean? We're missing the witness here. We're missing the purpose of what we're trying to do, as opposed to, like, fashion over Jesus should never, ever be an issue.
So what do we do?
Yeah. So that's why I think as you grow, that's why I say, so as you grow, things change. As someone grows, to me, as someone grows in Christ.
But in that growth, that growth, there's a lot of, as Calvin said, distraction. Yeah. There's a lot of men who are trying to be pure and trying to live that pure life, and they're seeing a sister walking and they're like, oh man, my eyes, I can't. I'm trying to mend over here.
But suppose that was the first time the sister had arrived to church.
Okay, well that's a conversation, isn't it? Because when people start saying this thing, I'll come as you are, and I'm like, okay, cool, come as you are.
Yeah, come as you are.
You know,
no one should see me in my pajamas, man. Like, honestly, like, there's the procreation
slippers
that we wear. Or slippers, you know what I mean? Hey, that's been happening, though.
I saw a Bray walk down my street. I looked at him and I said, brother, that is not acceptable. He has socks on with slippers. They call it sliders. And I'm
that's slippers.
This is what I was trying to tell you earlier. American culture is so dominant. So dominant. Like, Toby and Ray, like, he's made it a thing now, wearing slides and socks, all right? And I still don't get it.
They do over here. They do it over here, the young people.
Yeah, it's part of sports culture. You watch LeBron James.
Or man bags. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
The man bags.
It's a purse, bro. It's a purse.
But here's the thing. Like, we as Christians can acknowledge all these fashionable changes, and we're going to be asking the same questions. It's been the same question that we've seen from day, all right? We have to be careful of being in the world and not of it. It's a simple... It
comes with growth. A lot of it comes with growth, Calvin. Seriously. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't tell a woman what to wear, because
I'm not talking about a woman to wear.
Or even a male what to wear. I'm saying, like, tell someone what to wear. I just feel that what you tend to do is you would then talk to them, and as they learn, they get closer to God themselves.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, look,
that will, believe me, the closer they get, is the more things will change.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying that Christians need to tell people what to wear. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, you as a Christian can't look like Peter Andre trying to ride up to a woman and then say, hey, let me tell you about Jesus Christ as I'm flexing my neck. Yeah, I'm just giving you an image. Right? I mean, imagine. I'm just trying to flip the male-female thing, right? You as a male cannot turn up like P. Andre with no shirt, like.
Okay, Calvin. So what if KB had a video and in that video he's depicting himself shirtless, but he's trying to convey a certain point? Is that okay?
Listen, I know KB's ripped. I know it. And if he didn't, I haven't seen any video if he did that. I know he knows he's going to get comments on it. Think about it. You know it. You know it.
Yeah, but is it okay? Because a lot of people nowadays argue the heart. Oh, the heart behind it. You got to know their heart. It's impossible to know someone's heart. All we have to use is scripture, because scripture helps us discern the intent of the heart and the thoughts and so forth, as it says.
Yeah, but a lot of them, they show themselves in the gym. They put their top up. I mean, to be honest, that's not something that I struggle with.
That's a male thing. That's a male problem, because a lot of males, like every guy that's in the gym is saying, I'm in the gym. I'm in the studio.
It's so true.
It's true though. It's true. So
it's so true. Why?
So with women, with
the ego thing.
I know it's clothing, it's coordination, it's how I'm looking good tonight. We're going out. Yes, and it's
so the men, I'm in the gym one. That's the
men. It's the to look healthy, to look wealthy, healthy and wealthy. Two very important things. And so you will see a man shooing on his social media, because women look down up at a man. Like, he looks nice, he looks good. Validation, all right? So, so men fall under the exact same trap as the women do. And also
but it's a bit different. I think it's not as, because with women. No, I don't think it's as powerful, because when you look at the culture of what is perpetuated on digital television and across the world, across magazines and so forth, I feel like women are in a field of their own. Especially when you just look at the amount of magazines that I walk into WH Smith, which is a kind of like a stationery store, and they've got a section which is it's got magazines. I could say 100 magazines along the wall. And as we go along and you look at the Cosmopolitan, the Girl, GQ, all of those things, GQ, again, the man's in a studded suit and so forth, looking good and so forth. And a woman, she's in a very provocative position.
You think that's because it sells? Because they do what sells.
Yeah, I know. But hear my point. I'm trying to say, like, with the males, yes, I do agree with you, Calvin, on that point. But I think with the women, it goes into a completely different area where they are told to look like something that is regarded as degrading. Put this on display. Show yourself in this slutty position. Be a bit skew-iff with your body to show off this curve. With the man, it's more about how he looks in terms of, like, go to the gym, be healthy and so forth. But
what did I tell you before?
Woman, but with the woman, it depicts, bruv, how like an adult actress would look. I mean,
bro, listen,
those narratives are dangerous.
Flip. We're not looking at naked women, naked men, all right? I'm saying health. You've got the biggest magazines talk about health and wealth. Health and wealth, health and wealth. That's all men care about, health and wealth. Because if they look healthy and look wealthy, they get the women. And for women, if they look like the woman on the magazine, they'll get the man. And so I'm saying it's the exact same thing, because
we could perpetuate a rape culture, bro, for how women dress, brother. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I believe it goes a bit further, because men are not looking at women as like, I can just get the woman. I can have the woman even though she doesn't want me, because men are consuming the pornography, they're consuming the hardcore images and videos. They now, when they see the woman look like those women, they go, well, you should act and be like this. And that's why I mean, like, it's a bit more dangerous.
I can understand it, but it's just as dangerous for the men, because the one thing that is not reaching the TV media is the rise in rape culture in men. And I know it because there's someone in very close proximity to me.
Are you talking about women raping men?
No, I'm talking about men raping men.
Okay.
And so because it's not prominent doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And all at the same time, the same. We've seen men's clothes. You know this. Men's clothes. I'll say this to the guy whose biceps is popping out of his shirt right now.
Yeah.
No. I know. Charles is not falling under this category, right?
So is Charles ripped then?
I know. I'm not doing that. But we do see a problem with men wearing tighter clothing. All right. You see it. You see guys walk. You go to the shopping mall. You see man's backside and his underwear.
Yeah, exactly.
and
The
his tight
skinny
pants.
jeans now, like the jeans have just got tighter, shrunk.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, the media is trying to tell you how to dress, not Christians trying to tell you how to dress, you know, because otherwise you will have Christians out like hung upside down. You know what I'm saying? The media is telling you how to dress because we're using social media, and social media is saying, yeah, just like this, just like this, just like this, because this is popular, this is popular, this is getting the likes, this is getting the likes. If me as a man, I'll get more likes if we wear tight clothes, right? And I'll just show every time I'm in the gym. And I just show, hey, I've got more studio gear, so I'm getting successful now. So I'm looking successful and wealthy.
But Calvin, even for the time of Janet Jameson and Marilyn Monroe, women have been constantly placed in this narrative,
bro,
and that's what I mean in terms of.
I completely agree with you. I'm just trying to say that the addiction, pornography addiction, doesn't just reside with men; it resides with women, and it's high. When you look at the stats. I've researched this over the past week, and the stats are high for women, but bro, for men, it's but the way there's just our neurological pathways of how our mind is wired in terms of what we see. And a woman, like for instance, erotica pornography, which is like obviously text and so forth, is much higher with women than it is with men because they perceive the world in a different way through audible and visual things. They want relationship, they want time spent. As with hardcore pornography is more between men, like the 5-minute videos, because it's quick, it's easy, and they can dominate their surroundings and environment of what they want. So I fully get what you're saying, but my issue is that when a woman goes onto Instagram, and whether she's a Christian or not, and she shows parts of her body in a provocative way, as a man who struggled with pornography myself, it's very hard to see that woman as what a godly woman or what an amazing specimen. All I can see is you're striking the same pose as a woman. I think what I'm trying to say
is doing
what we're saying is exactly the same. What I'm trying to say is that, like, I didn't want to just make a direct line here to here and just say that's what's an issue, because there are other issues on the other side with women looking at men lustfully, and this is a reason why we have, you know, women having kids later and later, because this dating game, this thing that we feel that we need to try before we buy, and we're so indecisive, we're not making decisions with regards to relationships, affects both men and women. And there are minute details and stuff, but all the crux of all what we've been talking about is being Christian and leaving Christ, or pointing towards a Christ.
Yeah.
Like, how can we be Christian in today's age when we have a Romans road that's just full of pitfalls like it is? And I think what we have to do is make Christ a priority. If Christ is a priority, you wouldn't look that a certain way. Like, if you know if you're an avid reader of scripture, you know, an active member of a good church that's not so loosey-goosey, because you know you can get away with certain things in a loosey-goosey church, right? You would know about accountability, and that there is the issue, because on social media, it's all about you, as in me, you know. In our Christian faith, we are taught to love one another, So if I'm doing something that's distracting brothers, I've got to be conscious. I've got to be in community to understand the nuances of what's right and wrong. It's not written in stone. I shouldn't wear Jordan shoes over $250. It's not like that. But it'd be very, very hard for me to evangelize to the homeless in a Armani suit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it is that obvious. I'm using something that is very extreme, but I'm trying to paint pictures here, you know. Like, it's like I said, Peter Andre.
Yeah, but do you find that you're saying that, right? I remember someone said to me one time, like, if you're like, I was talking to them, and this was like years ago. I was like ministering to someone, and they said to me, at the time I had on a pair of known shoes, and they said to me, how can you be speaking to me and you're wearing those shoes? And that's the only thing I had on that was noticeable. I mean, it's not like I don't like stuff with too much logos over them, whatever, depends what it is really. You know, but, you know, it just so happened those are the shoes of choice that I like, and what have you. And you know, I did find that a bit, that threw me off a bit.
Yeah, see, that's why it matters. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, first impression matters. It really does.
But then I'm thinking, so am I supposed to walk up to you with a pair of Dunlops?
No, we just have to be very, very conscious of how we appear to people. Like, that's literally a crux of it, you know?
That's what I'm saying, because I generally like nice shoes. I'm not saying I don't go over the top and spend over the top on shoes, but I generally like nice shoes. It's just,
but over the top is ambiguous. It's relative to your circumstance.
I mean, for someone, like, I wouldn't spend, I mean, you know, if someone wants to buy me a £600 worth of pair of shoes, you're welcome to do so. I could do my details. You can send
Your
it to
problem
me.
to keep to do.
But you know,
We'll check this out. Yeah. James 2:2-4. Yeah. It says, suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in filthy old clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the man wearing fine clothes and say, here's a good seat for you, but you say to the poor man, you stand there or sit on the floor by my feet, have you not discriminated amongst yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? And I guess
I would push them both together. I'll sit right next to each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the narrative, the image narrative, isn't it, that speaks to us when we see these things. When we go on Instagram and we see a very nice profile of nice clothes and whatnot, you then treat that person differently to how somebody who hasn't got that, you know. So therefore, we have a culture that continually wants to perpetually show themselves in a good, favorable light, because with the tribe and nation, the community they're involved in, they want to be accepted. So they keep showing themselves, and therefore it brings pressures in other areas financially. People taking out loans, buying clothes they can't afford, and all of these types of things on credit, because it's become a situation where they can't handle the constant pressures of trying to keep up to a certain norm. And I thought that's where a lot of it comes from. But then again, when we speak about Christians and how we should be behaving, we should be challenging ourselves with how we conduct ourselves and how we present ourselves to the world. I think we need to really be mindful of that and say, how should I present myself concerning through the eyes of Christ? You know, what does the word say about how I dress? What does the word say about modesty and how I live and what I do? I think those things are truly important, and I think that we need to make sure we stick to that. And last scripture, and this is not directed at, I don't think it says women, but I think we should see it as across the board. Is 1 Timothy 2:9 says, I also want the women to dress modestly, with decency and propriety, adorning themselves, not with elaborate hairstyles or gold or pearls or expensive clothes. So it's not to just say women, you know, you guys, but I think men as well. I think we need to search the scriptures and find out what God says concerning the way we dress, so that our hearts are correct before him, that we present ourselves right to the world, right to unbelievers, that we may win some to Christ through how we dress, win some through Christ or how we speak. So I think we should be modest, not only just how we dress, but how we speak, how we think, how we live a holy life. I think it comes down to holiness at the end of the day. So, yeah.
I think Calvin, something's happened to Calvin. I think Calvin may have accidentally left the building.
That's fine. Well, let's wrap it up there and close the discussion. It's been a good discussion on image and the presentation of ourselves to the world at large. But thanks for joining us on this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon as well. This is good. But for all Christian rap, go to kcmix.com. Thank you for joining us on this episode.
Thank you for joining us, Calvin.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Kingdom Culture.